Hey everyone, I'm Jack. Today we're going back to part 6 and talk about probably one of the strongest stands ever, Weather Report. Before we begin, I just want to say only under 98% of you are subscribed, and if my math's right, that's not a lot. So please take a moment to subscribe, it's free, takes just one click, and it helps me out to make this channel grow. Weather Report is a stand of, well, Weather Report. Name makes more sense in context. Its first appearance was in Stone Ocean Chapter 40. It's a human stand that has a face like a mask with spikes coming out of it. It's otherwise pretty basic looking other than being portrayed in the manga being surrounded by clouds. Weather Report has an A in destructive power, B in speed, C in range, A in persistence, E in precision, and A in developmental potential. We'll get back to that developmental potential later. Weather Report has near complete control over the weather and is extremely versatile, giving the user a wide variety of offensive moves and defensive moves. He can manipulate the surrounding atmosphere, which allows him to summon basically all kinds of weather conditions like rain, wind, and lightning. And its range is great enough to make it rain 30 kilometers away from the user. The scale of the weather is controllable as Weather Report and create heavy rain and fog over a larger zone, but also makes small sunny areas in the middle of it. Some other things he can do is use gust wind to affect other objects and propel himself into the air, create atmospheric layers to increase air resistance for defense, make wind strong enough to pierce a person, and fill surfaces in the surrounding area to sense movement. He can shove vapor into someone and fill them with water. He can evaporate and freeze water to specific shapes, including blood. Create cloud suits to protect him and others from dangerous environments, including a vacuum. Use clouds to soften a blow. Create electrical currents in a person to somewhat control them. Manipulate the concentration of gases, which is something Emporio used against Pucci to intoxicate him with lethal doses of oxygen. And probably one of the stranger abilities, Weather Report can create unlikely weather conditions such as raining frogs. This one is based off scenarios where small animals are picked up by tornadoes and are rained down. That's a lot, isn't it? Well, we're not done because we still have to talk about heavy weather. So, heavy weather is extremely weird, so let's see if I can explain this. First off, I don't even know what the fuck these stats are. Also, heavy weather is automatic and extremely dangerous and nearly impossible to counter. So, heavy weather is basically a weather report on crack, as in it has the same abilities but also has a very weird one called Snell projection. This ability is when heavy weather produces rainbows that will turn anyone into a Snell if touched by them, and only weather is immune to it. The transformation can either be a progressive change into a giant snail-like thing, a breakdown into numerous snails, or a cluster of eggs that will hatch immediately. Touching the snails will also cause somebody to transform as well. Even animals will change. People who are changing into snails will suffer slow movements and reactions, getting stuck to surfaces, being attacked by snail predators, and dehydration if touched by salt. The snails will also multiply rapidly since people turning into snails will gain the ability to change gender like actual snails so they can procreate freely. The reason this is all happening is because heavy weather subconsciously alters the atmosphere and creates a subtle light projection that with the sunlight that causes everything to think that they're snails and forces transformation, similar to subliminal messages. This transformation is also irreversible. So yeah, this man's insane. One of the few ways to avoid turning to snail is by being blind. When Pucci discovered this, he used Whitesnake to take his own sight to save himself from the transformation. And I think that's about it. Honestly, Heavy Weather could probably be its own video, but I figured why not give you the whole package. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.